My name's Shane. We were at your wedding program. I will be playing the role of best man. Not long after Zach asked me to be his best man, Andy sent me a text of a screenshot of a Jeopardy question. And it read, I know a lot about Jeopardy. It read, presidential speechwriter David Litt said, for a speech by a guy with this title, keep things positive, don't upstage the newlyweds. The answer, of course, was, what is a best man? Which got me thinking, what is a best man? What's this speech supposed to be about? So I did a little bit more research, and I found out that David Litt suggested that the best man speech, and he said that there are 3 topics to avoid. Number 1, myself. Don't talk about myself. Number 2, drugs and alcohol. Number 3, sex. Because at this moment I realized the best man speech was going to be boring. Zach and I met in college, and without number 2 and number 3, it's just classes and study. But I will do my best to keep it light. As I said, Zach and I met in college, and not just college and through college, but it was the first day of college, the first class, and the very first minute of me being there at college. I lived off campus and I skipped all of freshman orientation. So this was my very first day on campus. And I walked into an acting 101 class late, and on the very first day they were doing their introductions. I had a Nirvana t-shirt on, and I stood up and I said, my name is Shane, and gave us a little bit of speech about myself. Zach turned around and just calmly said, nice shirt. It was oddly comforting to know that someone else appreciated my music as well. So after class, we started talking, and while others were talking about Andrew Lloyd Webber, Zach and I were talking about Eddie Vedder. Well, they talked about South Pacific. It's a musical. While others talked about South Pacific, Zach and I talked about South Park. While they discussed a Moliere show they had seen, and we were discussing the Muppet shows that we had seen. And if you haven't seen Zach's Kermit the Frog impersonation, it is not great. But it did make me laugh, and it was very fun. So Zach and I were fortunate enough to actually work on their first show together up there at Butler, and it was called The Bat, and if you ever get a chance to see it, then. But we would sit backstage for hours and play games, mostly the card game War, 4 hours, and we would get into trouble every single day because we were making too much noise backstage and having too much fun, apparently. But when we weren't in class or we weren't in rehearsals, we would still be together somewhere on campus hanging out. We would play hacky sack a lot, and we were both terrible at it, and spent most of the time searching for where we had kicked it. So we soon learned that if we played indoors, we had walls and ceilings that would prevent it from going too far. So we would play for hours at the bottom floor of this Lilly Hall building, and it was near the costume shop. It was there that we met Daniel. And he was the costume designer and a professor there at Butler University. And Daniel quickly accepted us and allowed Zach and I to hang out there at the costume shop whenever we wanted. So we knew the costume shop was where we knew to go to find one another. And I remember one day, one of us got the bright idea, I'm not sure which one, but the bright idea was to bleach our hair. So we did it. We bleached our hair. And we looked awful. But we looked awful together, and that was kind of fun. So it was Daniel at that point that started referring to us as Tweedledee and Tweedledee. So before Zach was the Z to your A, he was the D to my dumb. I can't express, I can't begin to express how great it was to meet someone on the first day, in the first class, in the first minute, that shared so many similarities and interests, and who is so caring and has a great heart and is so much fun to be around. Since college, we've shared a cross-country road trip and, as you put it, survived LA together and made time to see each other when we had a chance. And Zach, if you had not said anything to me on that first day of class, I'm not sure I'd have made it through 4 years. And I know for certain I wouldn't have had nearly as much fun in those 4 years. Zach was the super outgoing and friendly one and seemed to know everyone on campus. And if it were not for him getting me out of my teenage angst shell and introducing me to the people on campus, I probably would have been doing a lot of number 2. And only having number 3 with number 1. So, appreciate it. I love that you and I are still best friends. I love that you have found someone in Andy who is so beautiful, so fun to be around, so caring, your heart, I love it. Your laugh is contagious. And I love that you guys have found so much fun in playing games together, because that's what brought Zach and I together. It was just hanging out, playing games, talking and having fun. So I want to say I look forward to being able to hang out now with both of you, play games, and all have fun together. And thank you both very much for allowing me to be a part of your lives and a part of this wonderful celebration. To love, laughter, good health, and fun to the newlyweds. Congratulations.
Cheers. Cheers.